The Victorian era is usually linked with images of crinolines, carriages and flickering gas lights. The fashions and carriages are all history now, but we still have a need for gas. Such a need, in fact, that the Scottish Gas Board has expanded its service with a new works at Westfield and a new method of making gas, known as the Lurgy high-pressure gasification system. It's the first in Britain. By 1962, 1/5 of the gas at present being used in Scotland will be supplied by 4 Lurgy vessels. Together they will consume per day some 960 tons of low-grade coal supplied by this conveyor. 200 tons of oxygen through a battery of compressors, and over 1,100 tons of high-pressure steam from 3 Babcock boilers housed here. The boilers will be fired by the Igna fluid system, in use for the first time in Britain. This is a model of one of the boilers cut away to show the Igna fluid firing. The advantage of this system is its ability to burn very small, low-grade fuel efficiently. As the coal is fed into the boiler, it is met by pulsating upblasts of air from ducts under the grate. These induce a violent turbulence, just like a boiling liquid. The coal is burned in suspension, and the resulting ash and slag are continually removed by the travelling grate for disposal. Though gas from this plant will be made by a new method, valuable byproducts will still be produced. Among them, benzo, ammonia, and tar. These Benfield towers are part of the purification process. The first part of the Westfield Works is in operation. Gas will leave the Westfield Works at 300 pounds per square inch. This very high pressure has made it possible to distribute gas over long distances. From Westfield, the Scottish gas grid will supply Glasgow and Kilmarnock to the west, Edinburgh and Galashiels to the south, and Perth and Dundee to the north. Thus, one central high-pressure plant will feed many areas which once required their own local gasworks. Here is part of the new gas grid ready to be safely buried underground. Gas has come a long way since Victorian times. Today, it is used not only to cook the Sunday joint, but also in much greater quantities to meet the needs of Scotland's expanding industries. Far from being outdated, gas, which steam from Babcock boilers is helping to produce, faces a greater demand than ever. Every summer at Dalgais in Perthshire, these picturesque grounds ring with the cries of boys from all over Scotland and from all walks of life. They come from big concerns like Babcock and Wilcox and from the public schools. And there's nothing like roughing it under canvas and a vigorous team spirit to iron out differences and create healthy bodies and minds. The boys are divided into clans, each bearing the name of a Scottish mountain. And the clans are encouraged to compete with one another in skill and initiative. In this clan are a couple of Babcock apprentices, Chris Bisland and Gordon Taylor. For them, the camp is a reward for good work done during the year. What a chance to meet boys they might never have met in everyday life, and together take the low road to Lochorty one day, and the high road to Benglass the next. Tired muscles and happy grins are a sure sign that they're living to the full. All excursions and adventures are planned down to the last detail. They're no sooner on their backs than the clan leaders have got them up and off again with their eyes on another mountain peak. On one day, they cross the fast-flowing Tay. This will be talked about for a long time to come. There's no bridge, so they use their brains and rig up a very successful bosun's chair. It's a case of teamwork and all pull together. And if someone doesn't pull his weight, then the lad in the hoist might get a drooking. Faced with an obstacle like this, they overcome it themselves with ingenuity and a good will. One by one, they're hauled across to take their turn on the rope. Living in tents requires a certain amount of discipline and provides yet another opportunity for team competition. Points are awarded for tidiness and efficiency. And still there's no let-up. After a morning in the hills and a hearty lunch, on to the playing fields they go with a hockey stick or a ball. The team that lost points on hiking races is determined to make them up in the sports, and towards the end of the camp, the competition becomes even keener. After a week in the open air, a period of exhausting physical exercise, stimulating lectures, self-made concerts and entertainments, good food and good leadership, the lads return to school and factory. They carry with them happy memories, new friendships, and perhaps an understanding of what team spirit really means. So realizing the aim of the Scottish Industrial Sports Association in organising this annual Dalguys Camp. Don't be alarmed. We're not running the picture backwards. Going astern when entering harbour is quite a normal practice for cross-channel steamers. It may seem unusual to the passengers, but to the captain and his crew, a manoeuvre of this kind is an everyday chore. As the ship nears its berth, the deckhands fling the ropes ashore, engines are stopped, the ship's made fast, and now the captain gives the order to lower the gangway. Today, a trip abroad is as commonplace as a day's outing to Blackpool or a trip down the Clyde. And if you've got a car to give you independence, you're quickly in reach of those famous places you've been told so much about. Still, every boatload has its share of first-time trippers. It's a lot more exciting to see the Arc de Triomphe with your own eyes and then relax at a boulevard cafe to refresh yourself for a visit to world-famous Notre Dame Cathedral. Maybe you're not headed for Paris. Perhaps the bonnet of your car is pointing towards the land of windmills, Holland, where distances are so short that you can't do better than make your headquarters in Amsterdam, a city neatly divided by canals, flanked by the period houses of Holland's golden age, which are still in everyday use as offices and homes. And further north lies Copenhagen, where Hans Christian Andersen penned his fairy tales. In the Rhineland, Germany, they don't believe in half measures. Once a year, the Teutonburgers gather in the town squares to celebrate their grape harvest and draw the local wine from the civic tap. There's old Heidelberg, the university town and home of the student swordsman. But this is all very well. You still have to make a start, and one of the ports of departure is Dover. If you're going by car, make sure you've got your documents handy. They always seem a nuisance. First filling them in, then tucking them in a safe place, then finding the safe place. But documents keep the record straight so that you can come and go without a hitch. By the time your car's stored and you can relax, the ship's siren will blast a warning note of departure. The engine room is alerted, and then the engines at slow speed turn the propellers and thrust you away from England's shore. You're off. Now you're in the capable hands of men who know what they're about. Men whose training has taught them never to leave anything to chance, and who will check and cross-check to ensure your safety. The ship's going at full steam ahead, and a warm glow of satisfaction that you're now really on holiday will pass over you. You relax with a pot of tea or some coffee, or if you've missed breakfast, the steward will do battle for your favorite dish. A dram or two at half the price you pay ashore, and cigarettes in bulk, minus duty. On deck, hardier bodies gulp the salty air and discover their sea legs. But for others, there's no time to take it easy. The chief engineer must check the steam pressure and the revolutions. Men and engines of the Lord Warden can't relax and must keep at it until the ship enters harbour and this maze of machinery comes to a brief rest. Then it's back on duty again, ferrying passengers returning from their holidays. 2 crossings a day, sometimes 3. So an engine room is pretty important. And Lord Warden, like so many other Channel steamers, relies on steam from ship's boilers, which must be second to none.